How's it going, everybody? So we know that Seth Meyers is always cracking on Trump. They all pretend to hate Trump, but they all, of course, love Trump, and um, and they know what's coming. They just don't understand that it's actually biblical. These people laugh at the Bible, and Mystery Babylon, I mean, laughs at the Bible, and but of course, there's the '88, which is Trump, Out of Time, Back to the Future. Uh, they did admit, the writers, producers, everybody, that they based Back to the Future 2 off of Trump, the Biff character, I mean. And we know that '88 was Out of Time, and '88 is Trump and Sybil Gematria, where A is 1, B is 2, C is 3. And we know in The Dark Knight Rises, the Pittsburgh Steelers, along with their players, standing on the sidelines, represented Gotham. And so there you have it. And of course, who was running the ball when Bain was detonating the bombs and the stadium was collapsing and the field was collapsing? It was Hines Ward, and it was number 86. 286 something is to eliminate. And here they are posting. Here Seth is laughing because it's all a joke to them. They all, I'm sure, have some safe place to go during whatever they think is coming. But we know what's coming when they fake this event will be war, because that's the white horse moment. It'll be war, famine, and death to 1 out of every 4 people. And it's funny about the Lynn Swan, because the Super Bowl that was in Tampa, my parents got me a ticket. They went through my dad's company. There was an extra ticket. They said, "We got an extra ticket. Do you want to go?" And I said, "Yes." And we drove separate because they had functions they had to do with, in the corporate world. Super Bowl is a big corporate event, of course. And, but I had an individual ticket, and I got there extremely early. And really, when the gates were open, they had helicopters all over the place. That was Whitney Houston's big moment. And we had started the Gulf War. So the military was, our helicopters around, and everybody, got the wand, and long lines to get in. I squeezed in. I kind of just walked toward the front and squeezed in and got in very early because I was by myself. When you're by yourself, you can move about like that. And Lynn Swan was on the sideline. He was the sideline reporter. And this guy, there's hardly anybody in the stands. And this guy said, "Will you help me hold up this sheet?" And I said, "Sure." And he goes, "Lynn Swan will see, hopefully he'll film it and it'll get on TV." And it was a wedding proposal. So I'm on the other end helping this guy hold up this sheet about, "Will you marry me?" And Lynn Swan, we yelled at him. He turned around, got the camera guy, put it on the pregame show, and it was all DVR'd. So I went home, and there I was. I was on national television before Super Bowl 25 in Tampa, Florida. The Whitney Houston Super Bowl. It was the one where the Bills botched the last second field goal to where the Giants were able to win. And I guess we have to keep our eye on the Bills this year. I think they're in the playoffs. And, they lost those three, I think it was 3 Super Bowls in a row, or was it 4 Super Bowls in a row they lost? I can't remember. And yeah, Lynn Swan, old number 88, put me on national television thanks to a marriage proposal, dude, fan. But there he is. And we know that, it's the light and dark world. The Antichrist is the black Adam, as Jesus is considered biblically as the form of Adam. That's what the movie Black Adam is about. It's like Black Widow or Black Swan, the movie Black Swan, and there's Lynn Swan. Did y'all see the movie The Black Swan? That was one of the creepiest movies I had ever seen. I mean, super creepy. I watched it a few times. And yeah, I don't know. But there they are. The Gotham, the 88 Seth Meyers, who makes fun of Trump every single show. I subscribe to him on YouTube. And there they are, flashing the 88. Gotham's team in The Dark Knight Rises. You always have to ask yourself, how close are we? Is it tomorrow? Is it tonight? Is it next year? Is it at the election? Before the election? After the election? Is he going to rise when Sirius the Dog Star rises? Is he going to rise to a full moon, which means the event will be 2 days before a full moon? Is it 2 days before his event, fake staged event, 2 days before the total solar eclipse that makes the X across America? Is it 2 days before the Ring of Fire total solar eclipse on October 2nd, which is the Donnie Darko date? There is a lunar eclipse. It's not a total lunar eclipse, which is March 25th. And that's a 37 progression from the transfer portal date of, and by the way, it bounces. So the transfer portal date, it's the second 37 progression from Janus Tenet. January sees backwards and forwards. The movie Tenet is 10 backwards and forwards. It's a long story, but we discovered that they move events that connect back. And that's what the whole transfer portal thing is that they show on college football and the Dr. Pepper commercials where they keep showing the portal. Because their world, in Donnie Darko, they spoke about portals. Their world's all about, it's like the Arch of Triumph, the archway, the portals. It's his spiritual rising, is what it is. And I was going somewhere with that. So let me pause and see if I can remember what I was going to talk about. Yeah, anyway. So the total, I mean, excuse me, the lunar eclipse on March 25th transfer portals back around to this past October 28th. They connect through the transfer portal. And they were both lunar eclipses. So two lunar eclipses will connect to each other this year. We're in the middle of it right now. It was October 28th of 2023. Transfer portals over to March 25th. And from, let me show you. So the actual transfer portal date was January 10th, 2022. It was an exact overlay of the Donnie Darko month calendar where each date on the calendar fell on the exact same day. The 8th was on the same day and the month began. They're both 31 days in that calendar month. And it was on the 10th, October 10th, in the Donnie Darko movie where they talked about portals. And that's when it dawned on me. We started running things back and forth through that transfer portal date of January 10th, 2022. Anyway, if you go back 805 days, it lands on October 28th, which is the Gateway Arch date. That's Bill Gates' birthday for the Gateway Arch. It's when they christened and opened the Gateway Arch in St. Louis. And I was just watching this video where all these other things are done on October 28th. Let me see if I can find it. Julia Roberts' birthday, whose first movie was Mystic Pizza, and you know how their world always talked about pizza, G-A-T-E, which we're talking about the Gateway Arch. And during the election and Hillary's group, they were talking about pizza, G-A-T-E. That was like the big Trump conspiracy. and her birthday is on the Gateway Arch. It's Bill Gates' birthday. It's when the St. Louis Gateway Arch was opened. Moments of silence, 10:28 a.m. That's when the tower collapsed the final tower collapsed at 10:28 because it's like a big portal date for them. The Gateway Arch, October 28th, 1965. There was something else too that this is front row info YouTube site, by the way. And they're showing you the X total solar eclipses that make the X. Carbondale. It sounds a lot like Auburndale, doesn't it? Carbondale, Illinois. And we remember that whole big ridiculous where she pretended to have passed out. And just all the world's a stage, everything that they do. October 28th, 1965, the Gateway Arch was completed. And October 28th, 1886, well, 88, of course, is Trump, and 86 means to eliminate. And that's when the Statue of Liberty was officially dedicated. So you see that, and it's the second 37 progression. 37 is the 12th prime number, and 12 is number for the church. So it's a prime number for the church, and it divides into 666, 777, 888, 999, 555, 444, all the way down. And it transfer portals over to March 25th, which there is a lunar eclipse this March 25th, and there was a lunar eclipse this past October 28th. Now, they don't bounce back and forth evenly if you move the transfer portal to 2024. It only works when, let me give you an example. 465 days, April 20th, 2023, total solar eclipse. Go back from the portal 465 days. And you got October 2nd, 2020, when Trump said he had the illness, which was called the same thing that's the name of a beer. And it's the same thing as what they call the outer ring of a total solar eclipse. So Trump saying he had it bounced over to the total solar eclipse. Corona means crown, and corona is what you call the outer ring of a total solar eclipse, or an eclipse. Ring of fire eclipse, total solar eclipse. So, and what else was it that year? I think the first 37 progression, it bounced off of a December 4th, 2021 total solar eclipse when we went up 37 days from Janus Tenant 2022, or January 10th. It landed on February 16th, 2022, which was the snow full moon. So the eclipse bounced off the full moon, and we started seeing all these different things that started bouncing from the transfer portal of time. I didn't get this from any other channel, just slowly started to see it, understand it, and realize it, and saw that it was very real. So it's fascinating that March 25th, the next is May 1st when you go through the portal. So when you go 74 days through the portal, it lands on March 25th. And then you go backwards. Like we said, it lands on October 28th. The next 37 progression is 111, which lands on September 21st. Do you remember the 21st night of September? So see, these things are very important. This transfer portal of time didn't get it from anybody. And it lands on May Day, May 1st, 2022. And May Day is a big day in their world. So let me see here. So December 4th, we told you these are all the different things that it bounced off of from one thing to the other. So 63 days through the portal was March 13th, that big day when Trump made the announcement. And when you subtract it, it landed on day 313 of the year, which was November 9th. So let me see if I can explain this. A transfer portal, when you go to the second progression of 37, which is 74, and you land on that October 28th, where you swing back the other way through the portal, adding and subtracting, and you land on March 25th, they're both gateway arch dates. They're mirror images of each other. Now, let me see if I can remember how to explain this. October 28th is day 301. Over here in green, March 1st, the date is 301. March slash or 3 slash theoretically 01. Then you go up 25 days and you land on March 25th, which is day 325, 3 slash 25. And then you go up 25 days from the October 28th date and you land on November 21st, which is day 325. It's only within this window where this occurs. So the transfer portal of time gives you gateway arch dates that mirror each other. So it's very interesting. And I know somebody who's born October 28th and their name says 3 and 25. Might be the third letter, might be the 25th letter with an A and D in the middle. They're born October 28th. And so you have the 3 and 25 in their name. And what's ironic is 3 and 25 is March 25th, where their birthday bounces off of that through the portal. So anyway, it's just very interesting. And of course, Dr. Pepper does their big transfer portal commercial. And they show the portal opening up. And all college football keeps talking about is the transfer portal. It's all they talk about, transfer portal. The portal's opened up, blah, blah, blah. The portal closes, blah, blah, blah. And you have to listen to when they talk about these things, because when the window opens, you have to, everything they give you is clues. But there's only 25 billion breadcrumbs that are given out. But there's only one significant time when they're telling you when the event's going to be. And all the rest are just false breadcrumbs to make you think it. So it's like a game. It's fun. It's interesting. But, we know once it all begins, it won't be fun anymore. But it's just stuff I do to keep me busy. I just find it interesting. And if you've watched this long and you found it all very interesting, then we have the same kind of brain, I guess, whatever that means. Good, bad, happy, sad. All right. Anyway, love you.